So if you watched my last video, I told the story of how I first, how Ty called me and I agreed to come on down and meet him, and how amazing it was that we had the same philosophy, I mean, verbatim, the same philosophy of ministry. So I drove down to Omaha and I met Ty at, I think it was called Grandmother's at the restaurant. And of course I loved him the second I met him. I mean, he was just full of life, vibrant, good-looking guy, crazy guy, as you know. Always had the pencil in his ear, or pen, and he was dressed pretty nice, if I remember right. It's funny I can remember all this. And he had an intern that was working with him, and ended up working with both of us for years, Doug Leslie. So here's Doug Leslie, and if you know Doug, Doug is he's a massive human being, basically 240 pounds of muscle. But a heart of gold. Love junior hires, and so I met Doug as well. So here we are, the three of us, and it was a great meeting, and we're all excited. And then Ty's like, okay, now we got to go meet the senior pastor, Elmer Murdoch, because sooner or later you're going to be his pastor, because really he would be hiring you, and you'd be working for him, not just me. And I said, heck, that sounds fine. He goes, now he's almost 40 years older than me, and which I didn't care. Actually, I thought that was cool. I was actually looking forward to working for someone that was had all that experience, and he had been a staff pastor at A.W. Tozer's church. That was kind of impressive. That actually floored me. I was stunned by that. So I was excited. So we walk into his office, Elmer Murdoch's office, and great man. I loved him the minute I met him. With a full head of hair and great smile, and the guy was on fire. He sat us down. Ty sat in the corner watching me being interviewed by Elmer. And you guys, it didn't go well because Elmer goes, okay, I mean, after about 10 minutes, he goes, now, where did you get your seminary training? I said, I don't have seminary training. He goes, you're kidding. I said, no. And he looks at Ty, he goes, Ty, you knew that he didn't have seminary training? And Ty just kind of played, I don't want to say played dumb. Ty kind of shrugged his shoulders. I don't know that Ty knew if I did or didn't. I don't even know. I don't think Ty really cared, quote unquote, cared. But, so I said, I'm sorry, I don't have seminary training. He looked at Ty, he goes, Tyler, you know, I don't hire anyone. You have to have at least seminary training here. I'm sorry. So in 10 minutes, it looked like this is not going to work out. I was convinced that that was the end, and that, you know, he's pretty much saying, well, you know, God might have something else for you. So thanks so much, you know, for meeting me and coming in here. And I looked over at Ty, and he just was about ready to fall into the corner and die. And I'm wondering, what are we doing? And so Ty's sitting there, and I look at Murdoch, and Murdoch goes, you know what? Tell me about a project you're working on. Tell me about something. What do you know theologically and, you know, biblically? I said, oh, I did and now lucky enough, he knew a lot about everything, and I probably knew very little about everything, but I knew a little bit about my senior project. I just worked on this thing. It's just a historical church history document about a guy named Arian. It's called the Arian controversy, and that's where we get some of our creeds, the Nicene Creed and the Apostles' Creed. You really care about that? Well, Murdoch did, and I did only because it was one of my senior projects. And we talked for about an hour on this Arian controversy thing. And if you guys know Pastor Murdoch, I mean, if you're talking about something like that, he can absolutely just fly around the room, thrilled, excited. And we talked for an hour, just, you know, smiling, laughing, not shouting, but just kind of declaring these amazing things that happened in church history, and back and forth. And I just, every once in a while, looked at Ty, and Ty's mouth was wide open. He couldn't believe what was going on. We get done, about an hour talking about this silly topic. And Murdoch looks at Ty, goes, Tyler, I know I said that I'm never going to hire a pastor who doesn't have seminary training, but I'm going to make an exception in this case. Jeff obviously has seminary level understanding. Somehow Jeff has, you know, got a lot of what you'd get at seminary on his own, and I'm going to make an exception, and for the first time we're going to make an offer to Jeff, and even though he doesn't have seminary training. And I looked at Ty, and we were smiling, laughing, walked out of pastor's office and just flying high. Now, this was all in my first meeting. I mean, I had no idea if they would offer me an official offer or if I'd even accept, but that was just my first couple hours with Elmer Murdoch and Ty Schenzel.